Hi, my name is Greg McFarland, and I'm a first-year paramedic student at Conestoga College. Today, I'll be demonstrating how to auscultate and interpret regular breath sounds of the bronchial, vesicular, and bronchiovesicular auscultation points of the anterior chest wall. We will also be learning how to landmark the auscultation points, as well as the tools required to auscultate. All right, so right here, we have our tools, or should I say tool, our main one that we use when we are auscultating. So this right here is our stethoscope. As you can see, there is a lot of different parts and components to it that we are using as we check for breath sounds. I'm gonna kind of walk us through the stethoscope itself and explain each part because there are a lot of intricate and moving parts on it. And I'm gonna describe all of those before we actually get into doing the auscultations. So we're gonna go from the top down. This whole top section here is called the headset. So almost like it's like earphones or headphones, so to speak. It follows the same lines of maybe the more vintage wired headphones, so to speak. Yeah, at the very, very top, we have the ear tips. So as the name implies, they are the tips that go in your ear when you are listening for the auscultation. Below that, we have the ear tubes. So that is the metal tubing that makes its way down from the tip into this little Y here. As we make our way down a little bit more, we have what is called the stem. So that makes up, obviously, all of this lower part, and it connects the actual headset to our chest piece, which is the lower end. As you can see, mine is purple stethoscope. The cover here, that is just called tubing. So just as a protective measure, covers it up a little bit, makes it a little bit easier to hold. And yeah, that's about it. We will make our way down to the very bottom where we have, as I mentioned before, our chest piece. So this is what we are actually using to place on the patient's body when we are actually listening to the sounds. So as you can see, the one side is a little bit smaller. So the bigger side here is called the diaphragm. This is a little bit larger, and it is used for listening in for higher frequency noises throughout a patient. On the other side, we have what is called the bell, a little bit smaller, and we use this to detect lower frequency noises. It's kind of based on the size of it is what the frequency of sounds that you're going to hear, so it makes sense that you have both of them on here. Lastly, to wrap up with the stethoscope itself, is making sure that we are following proper protocol and making sure that we are taking care of our stethoscope. Making sure that every single time we use it, or at least daily, that we are decontaminating it, that we are making sure that we're cleaning it, and so that we have no germs or any other bacteria or anything else from any patients or ourselves. And the other point is making sure that we are leaving it in a safe and protected space, not only so that people don't have access to it, but also so that it's out of direct sunlight. So before we get to physically auscultating on our patient, I just want to go through a diagram just to show and outline the regions that we are going to be doing our auscultation in. So going top down, we have the tracheal, then we have the bronchial, then we have the bronchiovesticular, and then at the very bottom, we have the vestibular region. So next up, I'm going to be physically doing it on our patient and auscultating all of those regions. Bronchial sounds are loud and high in pitch, and typically have a short pause in between inspiration and expiration. Bronchial sounds are present over the large airways in the anterior chest near the second and third intercostal spaces. These sounds are more tubular and hollow sounding than vesicular sounds, but not as harsh as tracheal breath sounds. Vesicular sounds are soft, almost like blowing or rustling sounds that are heard normally through most of the lung fields. Vesicular sounds are normally heard throughout inspiration, without a pause into expiration, and then they fade away in the final third of the expiration. Bronchiovesicular sounds are heard in the center part of the anterior chest. Bronchiovesicular sounds are softer than bronchial sounds, but have a tubular quality. Bronchiovesicular sounds are about equal throughout inspiration and expiration. Differences in pitch and intensity are often more easily detectable than during expiration. Auscultation of breath sounds is an essential skill for identifying normal lung function in recognizing abnormal findings such as crackles, wheezes, and diminished air entry. Developing accuracy and confidence in this assessment is crucial for providing safe and effective patient care. Thanks for listening, and I hope you learned something new. All right, so we finally reached the part where we're going to start doing the auscultation of our lovely patient here. A couple things to note before we do begin. We have to make sure that we have our PPE on. I don't have a mask with me, but we have our gloves here, my goggles on, and then after that, we are going to ask for our patient's consent. So, do I have your consent?
I do.
Perfect. Okay. After that, a couple things we want to consider when we are auscultating is we want to listen bilaterally. So we want to go from the top down, and that is going to be across as well. So we're not going to start at the bottom and listen up. We're going to go down. And lastly, we just want to instruct our patient to follow a couple simple procedures. One of those is going to be making sure that she is sitting upright, and the other is making sure that she is taking deep breaths through her mouth. All right, let's begin. Making sure that these are pointing forward, like we talked about with our tools. Okay, take a deep breath in through your mouth and out. Deep breath in 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 and out. And last one. Alrighty, perfect. Money.